Well, Snow White is looking like it's going to be losing hundreds of millions of dollars. We knew this going into the weekend. Their Thursday night previews night was not working very well for them. Their Friday bombed. And a lot of people were then trying to compare to older films saying, oh, it's going to have a big increase on Saturday. It didn't. It just flopped. And word of mouth on this film is absolutely atrocious, as people are not liking it either. People are just saying this is not what they wanted out of Snow White. It's very, very obvious. They just didn't tell the tale of Snow White. That's how it works. They went to be subversive and feminist about it, and nobody wants that in today's market. It's over, and I'm very glad it is. So let's get into this news and laugh at Disney's failures once again. Hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Join us here as we talk about all things in the culture, especially when it comes to fantasy fiction. I've written a wonderful fantasy fiction book here called The Demon's Eye. This is classic fantasy. It's classic man saves woman, classic man fights great evil. This is exactly what we used to have back in the day, and they don't offer it anymore. So we're trying to bring it back, guys. Check it out. It's in the description below. Thank you, guys. We had a huge first week of our sales. I'm very, very pleased with how this has gone, and it's all because of readers like you. It's in the description below for you, and yes, we are very, very grateful for all the readers out there. So Disney has failed to hit global expectations. It's now predicted to lose around $250 million. According to the numbers, the film only grossed $43 million. By the way, I predicted about that ahead of time, so I feel good about that. And added another $44 million internationally for a global gross of only $87 million. Wow, only $44 million internationally is crazy because usually the international takes a lot bigger. Depending on who you ask, the film failed to meet expectations domestically or barely surpassed it. They predicted originally at Box Office Theory that it was going to hit $42 million, which was not their original prediction. Most others said between $45 and $50 million, which was going to be a failure even at that level to begin with. Global front, Deadline Variety expected it to do above $100 million, which it failed to do. Looking like it's even worse than Captain America Brave New World, which did hit $400 million over the weekend, which is still going to be a loss for the Disney Corporation. This one's going to be even bigger of one at this point. So the Marvels had a better opening than Snow White, which is a movie nobody wanted as well. It hit $110 million just on the strength of the MCU by itself. But Snow White didn't have that. This was a one-off film. It was going to live or die by its own deal. So it looks like this is going to lose the Walt Disney Company $250 million. He predicts it'll end its global run with around $260 to $270 million if these numbers hold. If an average run happens, if it doesn't overperform, if it doesn't do better down the line, doesn't have strong legs, looking at a final total of $260 by the end of its run. And that's where this film ends. Guess what? That's a $250 million, maybe $300 million in financial losses. That's using the $270 production budget number. With a $270 million as your production, your break even is usually between $670 and $810 million. That's a lot of money, and they expected this to be $1 billion property, of course. However, it's likely that the film's production budget is much higher, according to Caroline Reed at Forbes. Given the previously discovered back in 2023, they had spent $209 on the film as of July 2022. Over a year later, she said the budget had ballooned to $269 million, though Disney received $55 million reimbursement to bring its net to $210 million. However, given the film had to go through the post-production as well as other rumors and reshoots, it's rumored it's over $500 million. WWW Pro says that we know the film has a budget that's somewhere around $300 million. If they have overshot that significantly, according to my source, this film is heading towards The Force Awakens, and that's why I'm going to call it that kind of budget. We're nearing $500 million, according to its source. Given that likelihood, the budget is much higher than that. It'll probably need between $900 million and $1 billion just to break even. There's no way, there's no chance, and of course, the scores are not that much better. Rotten Tomatoes, if you look at the Snow White, the critics are not happy with this. Now, you got to look at how they do this because it looks like 74%, which is not very high just by itself. You got to remember this is verified audience, so they always do this. The top critics versus all critics. So they show you the top critics. They show you all critics on this to try to boost the score here, which the real top critics, the ones people actually trust, are much lower than that. But on this, they show you a portion of the audience that they curate out, 1,000 ratings. 10,000 ratings, though, say it's at 23%. And IMDb is very similar. It's at a 2.2 stars out of 10, showing that this is a film that really nobody wanted to watch, nobody was very interested in whatsoever. Now, why is this? What is going on with Snow White, and what's the problem with this? The Chivalry Guild talks about this, and they say, don't take the wrong lesson from this. So this is pretty interesting right here. And we know that they had a catastrophic weekend, as of course. But following the film's failure, it might be quick to triumph, get woke, go broke. But here's the caution that he says about this, and this is really, really smart right here. People are not seeing this because I'm hearing everywhere from all the influencers out there, woke is dead, DEI is dead, nobody's making DEI anymore. By the way, the election was 51-49. It's that close. And you got to remember how unhinged these people are this weekend. I actually went out to a Tesla dealership over the weekend, just kind of show what was going on. There was a huge protest going on. These people are not. This is my film right here. It looks like just a couple of people when you start looking at this, but when you turn the corner, there's blocks and blocks of these people just like this. And as I go down the street, you can see a lot more of them on here. You can see there's a few there, but then we get to the next edge. Here they are. There's a lot more of them. And if you look at the other side, once I scan to the other side, they're all out there. These people are standing in the middle of the streets trying to harass a business because of Elon Musk and just because he supported Donald Trump, just because there's a Tesla dealership nearby, right? They're unhinged. They're blowing up Teslas. This is how crazy these people are. Woke is not dead. They're angry, and they're actually going to get more unhinged right here is the takeaway that we're going to see very, very shortly. And people need to wake up and realize that these people have not come to the light. They've not, suddenly repented and turned to Jesus or anything like that. These people are unhinged. And so he says this, don't take the wrong lesson from Snow White's massive flop. Get woke, go broke misses the point. Global media corps are so committed to progress, they will flush millions down the toilet. If anything, should be in awe of how committed these people are and how much they're willing to lose. The bigger problem in trusting the laws of economics to save us, a completely hands-off system that will make everything right without demanding boldness or virtue from us, just rational consumption. But the market can stay insane longer than you know. Economics won't save anyone. Only boldness and virtue will. And that's the thing. The free market doesn't always determine anything. It all depends on how things are marketed a lot of the time, timing a lot of the time. If a Snow White movie was marketed right and they didn't have all the Rachel Zegler controversy behind it from the actress herself just saying stupid things, it might have just done pretty well as a Disney movie, as people just take people to see Disney movies. People don't think about that. They're like, what am I going to do this weekend? I got to take my kids to something. Oh, Snow White sounds cool. And that's exactly what they do every single time. It could be a woke film, if it's marketed right, can have just as big of an impact as anything else. We've seen some woke successes. We've seen some woke failures. It's all over the map, but they're going to keep going on this woke because they are committed to this. They believe this is their religion, everybody, that they have to change everything. They have to groom your children. They have to make sure everybody's on this whole agenda all the time. Otherwise, they would not have done this to begin with. Now, this has gone on through major corporations, and everybody in the CEO and the board and all this are the same people. They voted the same way. They hate you and your families. They want to change things. They actually want to stop families from existing because they believe, people will destroy the environment. I mean, that's exactly that. It's a death cult agenda. It really is. And they're not just going to start because of this. So somebody says, an interesting take. In concrete terms, what are you proposing if not free market capitalism? Demoting economics from the be-all, end-all priority of modern life, and that's exactly what needs to be done because we have to prioritize what's true. We have to prioritize, of course, the God's word and God's will, and that's the only way we're going to change the culture here because if you just stand for whatever the free market is, the free market might go this direction. And you got to remember, it's not that long ago that California voted against gay marriage. Now gay marriage is everywhere in the whole country. It's accepted. It's fine. It's in everything. Every TV show, every movie, every video game, every book features all this happy gay couples and all that. While of course the regular straight couples are all demented and problems, and the men are always bad, and the women are always good, and the white people are always bad, and the black people are always smarter than everybody else. Every film and everything has this for the last 15 years. People are desensitized to it. I see it all the time. You need real values to combat this stuff. You can't do it just based on this philosophy of, let the market decide, or you're going to lose from the start. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. At least Disney's losing in this instance. We can celebrate that as this was marketed poorly, but they're going to change their structures to where they're going to put this in. Remember, Ironheart's coming very soon, the black replacement Iron Man female character to Disney+. They're still going forward with all of this stuff, and with that, they're going to change the marketing to where they're just not going to tell you it's woke. They're just going to say it's great, and you're gonna be seeing that. I've seen the Disney actors already say it's not woke, it's good writing. even with black replacement characters, right? And so they're going to say woke just means bad writing. They're not going to say it actually means anything, and that's what they're trying to do, is try to change the language, which the left always does as well. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Please check out the Demon's Eye novel. This is a combat against wokeness right here. Excellent fantasy fiction you're going to enjoy. It's in the description below. Thank you so much for supporting us. We'll be back soon.